We are live without any
Yes,
music. I'm always like I'm waiting for the head bob.
Yeah,
we all bob our
Yeah,
heads. I have noticed
just
that.
something.
yeah. Well, there's something. It's kind of a nice little groovy intro, but yeah. Welcome to Stagger Stance episode. Matt usually asks me, so I can
253.
ask myself. Oh, Nick, you nailed it.
There we go. I
Yeah,
feel like it was just the other day that we did an episode, so it's kind of fresh on the mind.
yeah.
I
Literally,
didn't have to wait
not even.
7 days.
Yeah, not even a
Yeah.
week. And we'll mention our title sponsor in just a moment. But yeah, we all four of us. We only have three tonight.
Yep.
We voted Wednesday night to kick Matt off the show. I think,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Been a lot of debate and time about it. It was mainly him debating against himself, but we ultimately made the decision.
Yeah. But even though that will make some of you smile, not happening. Matt is on a business trip doing other work, being responsible. But we all saw each other, four of us, on a live in-person show on Wednesday at Polar Park. The East Coast Metal Roofing, what's it called? Day at Polar Park.
Disc
Basically, it
golf
is
day.
disc golf day. Which I don't think we're going to dive into that, but that was a lot of fun. And it was not live broadcast to YouTube. So if you missed it, go check it out. Obviously, it was pushed out to podcast platforms. We interviewed Gavin Babcock, Paul Macbeth, Paige Pierce, two of them right after coming off of a win. So definitely go check that out. But that brings us to episode 253, brought to you by none other than TitanDiscGolf.com. Nick, you have anything good to say about Titan Disc Golf?
Well, if I ever have any shopping needs for disc golf, I just go to titandiscgolf.com because we have a promo code. I get some money off, and that's actually how I've been able to pick up a few of the Tour Series discs that I don't get in my allotment. So
Ooh.
get some of those.
Yeah, definitely check them out. They've got plenty of stuff. Obviously, the emphasis is the discs. I forget how many do we say they have? Anyways, tens of thousands. Ultimately, constantly getting new inventory rotation. We also saw the owner this weekend. Not that that means you need to go buy, but the point is he's engaged in disc golf. You already know Matt Schlabach. He was up here at the Maple Hill Course MVP Open. Definitely go check out TitanDiscGolf.com. They've supported us all year, and for you, it's just a great deal and a great website and great disc inventory. That's reason enough. But for us, in addition, obviously, he supports us and
Mhm.
you can support them. So sometimes it can go full circle. So,
Bingo.
yeah. So,
Help
Nick,
us help you.
yeah. So, Nick, we were just having a little bit of talk before. I know,
Mhm.
like, what did you do this weekend? There was a big disc golf
I
event in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, big disc golf event in my neck of the woods, and I barely got to do anything in regards to that. I had a lot of work this weekend. I had a lot of appointments, and I had a lot of fair stuff to do. I hear echoing. Is that me?
I hear it as well, so it's not just you, but
Okay. Okay.
I know, but we can hear up
No, we can
playing in
just
the
hear
background.
echo in the background. So, anyways, so I had a bunch of appointments to run this weekend, so I actually never got really a chance to make it down there for much coverage at all, which was kind of a huge bummer. But I was able to, in between appointments, when I had some downtime to chill and get some paperwork done, I was able to watch a lot of the coverage, especially on the MPO side. I was able to watch like Missy Gannon's ace on the FPO side, so I did consume a lot of the coverage. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to be out there on the ground like I normally like to do.
Yeah. So yeah, it was exciting. I think Ben and I, and I'm sure we'll get Ben back at some point. He's busy producing some show. Um, but for Ben is probably exhausted. Um, I'm tired, all in a good way. But I live in southern New Hampshire, and I drove back and forth. I chose to, but drove back
Mhm.
and forth to the event like 4 out of the 5 days, if you count the Polar Park
Nice.
day.
Yeah.
A few of those days had my family with me. Truly epic um, event, like really, really awesome. We're going to obviously talk about it and kind of go down the leaderboard and review it. So, Maple Hill, renowned. We're going to talk about all the other things that kind of make its rounds. Do you like the course? Is it too challenging? Challenging enough? How about the changes each year? Right? The 8 feet wide, 100 feet away, hole 17 gap. Um, the loud fans and spectators. We're going to talk about all that, but before we do that, I just want to kind of talk through the actual on course play itself. In my opinion, almost every year we get some really exciting disc golf. And I think we did again. So in MPO, first day, well, and FPO, pouring rain. We've had a drought in the Northeast. I'm not exactly sure what it's like in central Massachusetts, but in general, in the Northeast,
been a drought.
like in central New Hampshire, it's like all-time drought.
Yeah.
And so the same, and so of course, inevitably, you get like pouring rain all day long on day one of the MVP Open. Much needed for everybody around here, but I'm sure the players were not necessarily thoroughly enjoying it. But it was not a preview of things to come. And round one in MPO, we've got Nathan Queen. Recognize that name. I mean, he's obviously, you should recognize it anyway, a good touring player, but past DGPT championship winner, showing up at the final playoff event in round one. But one stroke back. Another up the score. Right, because the changes. I guess that's how you count it. So 12 down, 1097 unofficial rated round, and comes scorching back. And the thing about Ricky, part of the conversation was his ankle. So literally, like the day before the event, he posts that he had what, like, did he call it like a grade 2 ankle sprain, something of that sort. And Nick, we saw Rick in person at Polar Park in Worcester the day before. You believe all the hype? Was it just an Instagram post, or how was his ankle?
Yeah. So, and I had actually picked him to drop, just thinking that the foot would be a little bit too much and he was going to play bad because of it, whatever. We actually did see him at Polar Park, and then he took off his shoe and he showed us, and his whole ankle turned into a cankle, super swollen, and then his foot had a huge, black and blue mark on it. And so I was like, oh man, that thing is toast for the weekend. But Ricky's a competitor. He's going to try to champ it out. And he's definitely a competitor because he ended up playing stupidly well on it. And was able to have a great weekend.
Yeah,
so
it's like
did not drop whatsoever.
Yeah, you and I were there, and he's like, "Yeah, let me show you," and literally just like strips the shoe and sock off, and I'm like, "All right," like it's swollen. And if you've ever had a badly sprained ankle, you definitely can get that, like literally like the blood build up from all the internal injury there, and it was like black and blue.
Wild.
Yeah.
So
I
twisted my ankle before and never had that much black and blueness.
Yeah. I did. Mine looked the same, and it was bad, and it bothered me for years in a lot of ways. So obviously hope that not any kind of long-term effects. But, it's interesting because obviously the injury itself cannot help a player. I mean, in my opinion, right? Like, it's not going to help. However, you do wonder sometimes, your point is like he's a competitor, and I wonder if it's like, does it create a different kind of mental focus, right? Because you've got to you have to focus on everything to not strain it further. And maybe you have something to prove, right? Or kind of come out there and it's a fresh perspective. So nobody should try to get an injury, but it just feels like Ricky was out there being like, yeah, I'm going to show you what I'm made of. And he was good anyway. We know that. So anyway, a 12 down, a ridiculous. But even though we're calling it ridiculous, of course, what do you have? You have Ganon Burr, who's only 2 strokes back on that round. This is like how Ganon's been this year. I mean, we've seen a few ridiculously hot rounds, but for the most part, he's just consistently one click behind.
He doesn't play bad. He really just doesn't play bad. He'll tell you, his last round was horrible. He only shot 7 down and Cole shot 8 down. And that's why Cole won by 1 stroke, right? Like, he'll say his last round was horrible. It's the worst round of the year. He'll go on and say that. He just doesn't shoot a bad round, though. And you look at other players and they shoot bad rounds. And it can be a luck factor of things. It can not be. But like Simon Lizotte was on round 1 lead card. Or after round 1 was on the lead card going into round 2. Simon Lizotte at this tournament, didn't even cash. Nathan Queen was in first place after round 1. Didn't even cash at this tournament. Like Paul Macbeth, round 4, shot +2. Like, those are bad rounds that get mixed into this tournament. And it's just something that we do not see out of Gannon. You see good rounds from Gannon, but majority of the time right now, you just see great rounds. And it's incredible that, I mean, it's why he's going to be 1063, 1064 rated in the next update, because he's able to just
so
right now consistently do that. Yeah. And it's actually kind of wild because, we play a different course every single week. Every single course is different, whether it's Brewster Ridge, whether it's Fox Run, whether it's Maple A positions or Maple B positions. Like, there are so many different things going on, and he is still able to, adapt and overcome at every single course that he goes to right now. Yeah. And I think that's just one of the most impressive things that not a ton of people are talking about, is going into different courses every single week and being able to shoot 1060 rated golf on every single course.
Yeah, and make it look almost like not special. And what I mean by, if you're in person, it's special, like, obviously, but the point is just like, because he's so consistent, it doesn't ever look like it pops off. It just looks like, well, that's what Gannon does. But here's the thing. So Gannon throws a 10 down 2 rounds in a row, but round 3, Cole Redalen matches Ricky's score at 12 down for the course, tied the best for the course record. Which leads us into round 4. And what can you ask for except a 2-way tie between Ganon Burr, Cole Redalen, or a tie at the top for first, and then, of course, Ricky Wysocki, 3 strokes back, I think? Or no, 4 back. Ricky was 4 back. 4. And just, like, I'm excited. Obviously, I'm local. I'm going to be watching this event live itself, but just, like, super pumped to see going in. And we get this stat on the side from none other than Evan Kearns, formerly of the Nick and Matt show. I got to see him this weekend as well. I don't have the stat. Yeah, I don't have the stat in front of me, but, like, I can probably do it from recollection. It was basically the winner for MVP Open at Maple Hill since 2017. Well, that was the last time that somebody who was in first place starting the event, right? They did not win. Yeah.
The MPO leader or co-leaders entering the final round of the MVP Open has not won since Ricky Wysocki won the 2017 Vibram Open, entered as a co-leader. In 2024, Proctor trailed by 2, Oram trailed by 2, Lazat by 6, Hammis by 4, Macbeth by 2, Macbeth by 1, Conrad by 3. 7 straight years of final round comebacks.
Yeah. Which, of course, who is sitting in that place? Insane. Right. So most likely that's Ricky Wysocki, right? Because he's the one who's 4 strokes back. We showed that stat to Gannon and Cole live, and I don't know, like, is that you show them? You're like, hey, one of you
showed him before the round?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Showed him the night. Yeah. When Evan sent it, we were with them. We're like, here goes. What do you guys think?
Yep.
However, I'm not going to narrate the whole thing. We're going to actually talk to Cole Redalen about some of this. But in round 4 alone, if you count, they start tied. So if you count lead changes and, net new ties, right? So every time there was a full swing moving somebody into a different position, out of 18 holes, 11 of the holes in that final round either saw Cole take a lead, Gannon take a lead, or they came back to a tied position 11 times. Like, that's crazy. I mean, often you'll see, like, there's a 1-stroke lead and it's a tight race, but to literally be swapping strokes over and over and over again. Did you, like, Ben, I hope your mic's up and running.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to ask you about the whole, like, round because we're going to talk about that some more later, but literally, I just want to ask, on the card, I presume, like, Gannon and Cole and even Ricky, like, did they know, like, that the lead kept changing, or was it just, like, laser focused? Like, could they feel those swings?
Cole doesn't check his score at all. I know that about Cole. He's a paper scorecard type of guy. He doesn't check anyone else's score. So I don't think Cole really knew. Obviously in the back of his head, I forget. He told me maybe it was like round 3 that he didn't realize he had Gannon by something at one point on 18. Obviously he checked for the final round, but I think it might have been round 3 on 18. He didn't realize Gannon was something. I forget what he said, but yeah, doesn't know. Gannon, on the other hand, definitely knows more. He's constantly checking score and kind of knows like, all right, I'm up 1, up 2, down 1, tied, whatever.
So even without knowing the score, though, like just like with 11, I'm going to call them lead changes, although half the time it was like coming back to a tie. Like, did it feel like I'm going to compare it to like a heavyweight like fight where one guy just like connects a punch, right, kind of staggers, and then the other guy comes back and, you know, throws a punch, and the other guy staggers, and it's just like those are the best things to watch, right? Because it's just
it felt like a battle. For sure, it felt like a battle. I mean, like it was whole 13. They both birdie, insane. Hole 12, I think Gannon got back to tie or something like that. And then hole 14, Cole launches it, Gannon parks it. Hole 15, Cole and Gannon both birdie it, I believe. I'm trying to think because Cole peered it down the center.
I've got this. Yeah, I mean.
And then 16, Gannon pars it, Cole birdies it, which was pure. I think that was the shot of the tournament. That was the game changer. That's why he won personally. Yeah, that tied him back up. And then 17, Gannon bogeys, Cole birdies, and
pipe to drive. Yep.
Yeah, he pipes it again.
Yeah, something else. So we're gonna get to talk to him in a little bit about that. But I just think like if you're watching a tournament, into the season. A lot on the line for a lot of players, and to have Cole and Gannon duking it out, and always having Ricky looming. He never quite there. If they make the mistake, he's gonna snag it.
Yeah.
And to have them battle it out and literally come into a tie down to hole 17 at Maple Hill, it was just like primed. Everybody's talking about what's the playoff, how does it work. Of course, it didn't play out that way, but super exciting. And there are a bunch of other things we're going to talk about on the show today, such as what else was on the line at the event. It's called a playoff event, right? There were play-in positions for the championship, points on the line, etc. So lots of things happening. Ben or Nick, you already kind of mentioned down the leaderboard, but like it's crazy how things get so distributed here. Obviously, a lot of the well-known names at the top. Paul Macbeth was right up there. Thought maybe he would fight for it, like you said. Really kind of a tough couple rounds with that last round.
Yeah.
Not that it matters to him, but I think it actually cost him second place in the points standings for the year. I think it bumped him down to fourth.
Really? So, it says he went down too. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, a lot on the line. He wasn't there to collect his plaque at the end of the event, but I don't blame him. But so yeah, like just kind of rough. Good weather the last 3 days. A little bit of breeze in the final round. But you mentioned like Simon Lizotte. I mean, he threw a +7.
Yeah.
Ouch. And then never really fully recovered from that. Obviously, your mindset probably even shifts going into that final round at that point.
It's a long tour season, I think. So a lot.
Long tour season, 4-round event at the end, and right, if you're not the one who's actually fighting for it, and then the pressure builds, like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah, because Simon actually has nothing to gain except trying to win this event, right? Like he's already in the championship, he's already got like the points he needs.
Yeah.
He's in front of local fans, friends, obviously an event sponsor. His sponsor sponsors the event. At some point after that tough stretch, like what are you fighting for? Definitely a heartbreaker for a few players. We'll talk about them later who had a real shot at getting to the championship and just missed it. In some cases, probably by a few strokes on the last few holes.
Our own Harry Chase was one of them.
Yeah, he went like he was crazy close, right? Actually had to play off.
Went into a playoff for it.
Yeah. You know what the craziest thing is? He didn't know this at the time. He could have laid up on 18 and he would have been in the tour championship. Instead, he went for it and bogeyed. Yeah. And then went to a playoff.
Which that's hindsight 2020 because he finished 18 well before the next, right?
If he checks scores, it's not hindsight. He would have
if he had checked scores. Okay.
That story finished.
Gotcha.
Rathbun.
I thought
he
you
didn't
meant
realize
Rathbun
got like a 10.
People like
on 18.
5 holes behind. Really?
No. Yeah. So he wasn't checked. He didn't realize that. So he could have realized it. Like if he checked scores, he would have known that. Okay, I could make and he would have made it no playoff.
Yeah, it's not the normal scores you would be checking. Like you'd have to go look at the live championship. But I'm sure Harry was aware of that because he was obviously wanting to make it. And Super, super close. So I actually want to go down some of that championship leaderboard a little bit later because I think it was actually an interesting aspect of the event.
Wow, he did take a 10 on 18. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. There are a few players who took a 10 on 18 this year, both in MPO and FPO.
Yeah.
It can be a tough hole if you don't execute. And then you get nervous and feel the pressure.
It can't be that tough though. Come on. I don't know.
I guarantee you I could get a 10 on that hole.
No, I feel you.
But yeah. All right. Well, I think we should try to talk to a player who actually had a big decision on hole 18 to make. And
I dig it.
And
I think this is the time to do it.
All right. What do you think, Ben? We have
Yeah,
somebody to join us?
he looks like he's moving out and about. I don't know what happened here.
Well, as soon as
Cole,
he
if you can
joins,
hear us, it
Cole
looks
in.
like he had to move spots. All right, he's sitting back down. All right, let's bring him
Oh,
in.
that's funny.
Here we go. Cole Redalen.
Boom.
There he is.
Cole, you can hear us. We can hear you.
Okay. All right. You can hear me?
Yes.
We can.
And hopefully you can hear us. Yes.
Okay. Here, I'm trying to center this up for you guys. Okay, perfect.
Bang.
Can you
Sorry,
hear
my
us?
connection is bad. Yes, I can hear you.
It's gonna look bad on your side. It's probably actually
Yeah,
perfectly
you're
fine
good.
on YouTube. So
Yeah.
don't worry about
You're
the
cl-
wettiness
you're
on your
crystal
side of
clear.
things.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
terrible on my end. So
Don't worry about
we're
don't
good
worry
here.
about the visual. The audio is important. It's actually clear. It's just the way you're seeing it through our platform. So Cole. So
Awesome.
first things first. I think is today your actual birthday.
Yes, it is. Yep, September 29th.
All
You're here.
Happy
right.
birthday.
21.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday, the big 21. I know there was some fun out on the course with people the fans actually singing happy birthday to you a day early, which is a lot of fun. And so, yeah, congratulations on getting the big win. We definitely have a handful of questions we want to kind of go through with you, but like, congrats first. I mean, that is like exciting. It was an exciting moment at the course. I think a lot of people were thrilled to see you pull it off.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. It means a lot. I mean, yeah, I'm excited to hear what questions you guys have for me, but honestly, just it just seems like the perfect ending to a very weird year. So yeah, just super grateful. And yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. And yeah, the 8 holes sang me happy birthday last year when I played the course on my birthday, and then they still gave it to me this year, even though it was the day before. So
All right.
So
So
it's great.
maybe it'll be a
Fun.
tradition if they keep the event where it
Yeah.
is. We'll see.
yeah, hopefully.
All right, so I want to ask you some broader questions to your point about the year. I know you've had kind of some injury recovery. I want to get there, but I actually want to just say, so here we are. I already recapped a lot of how the tournament itself went before you joined. But so I'm going to jump right to like round 4, the beginning. So after round 3, coming into round 4, here you are tied. And Gannon just came off of 2 10-down rounds. You had a 12-down round. You know you've got the confidence to execute it. But I actually want to hear from you. Like, what is your mindset overall? Like, you're right. You're gonna wake up and you've got round 4 in front of you, knowing you're tied with the current number 1 in our game. Like, where are you at mentally? And I just, for example, like, are you thinking about that whole situation that I'm mentioning, or are you just like laser focused on your plan for 18 holes? Like, just where are you at from a mental head game, headspace, knowing you're tied heading into the final round?
I think a lot of it is just it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. You have to tell yourself the right things, but also um, it's you have to tell yourself the right things, but also believe the right things. Like sometimes it's you can know what you need to do, but to be able to internalize it is a completely different story. And sometimes it's just telling it to yourself until you do believe it. And for me, that was just doing what was in my control. That was all I was worried about. That was all I was trying to think about. That was all I was trying to focus on was Ganon will be Ganon and Ricky will be Ricky. I can't do anything to control what these guys do out there on the course. All I can look at is their history and what they've accomplished in the game. And if that affects me, then that's my problem. So that's all I was focused on was going out there, doing what I knew how to do. I had a great game plan for every single hole. So, I mean, just like I said in my interview, like if there was something that was going to stop me from doing something that I need to do, it was only going to be myself. And as long as that is what I was focused on, then I I just had to not get in my own way. Yeah,
Which is maybe easier said than done, but you executed it. So
100%.
what I hear you saying is like you are completely aware of what Gannon's done and obviously Ricky's history, but you're choosing not to let that particular aspect intimidate you, right? Like you're just kind of acknowledging it and then just focusing on yourself. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, it's you have to expect them to make the big plays. You have to expect that they are going to make the shots necessary to win the tournament. So when it's all said and done, it's like there's nothing that they could do on that final day that I didn't expect them to do. Honestly, when they messed up is what I didn't expect them to do. So it was kind of like when that happened, it was my job to capitalize. But having that expectation of them already just allowed me to lock in even more and be like, nope, you have to make this shot. Nope, you got to dig deep right here. I don't care whether they messed up. I don't care whether they parked it. It doesn't matter. You got to lock in. So, yeah, all that perspective as well is just like, nothing they could do, I felt like was going to impress me to the point where I was like scared or nervous that like I needed to do something. It was just like, no, that's just what they do.
Hmm. Thanks for answering. I mean, I was just curious that mindset. And in a little bit, I want to get to the actual flow of that final round, which was just epic to watch. But just to take one more step back, because you kind of mentioned it. So it's 2 years since your Ledgestone win, which is your only other pro tour win. Given the full context, you talk about it being a weird year. Like, how does this win, or I should ask, does this win feel different than that one?
Oh man, 100%. It does not sit the same that Ledgestone did. I, Ledgestone just felt like I was on top of the world. This one feels like it was just along for the journey. Like this one just felt like it happened because of what I've been going through. Um, and so if it's okay with you, I'd like to expand a little bit on what this
Perfect.
year has entailed.
Tell us.
Yeah, so I missed the Supreme Flight Open, and I got an injection in the left hip impingement for the labrum, and I thought everything was all healed and ready to go. And through 6 weeks of rehab and physical therapy and everything, it was feeling fantastic. I was ready to go, jump on the road at Waco, and have a great 2025 smooth sailing season. I get to Waco and it's just a bit rocky. Obviously, the game did not practice at all in the off season. I was not able to practice. It was laying in bed, it was working out, and it was expecting that whatever treatment I did would hopefully work. Um, and so the bigger issue was dealing with hip impingement. So what caused the labrum tear was impingement in the head of the femur in the hip socket, which caused that labrum tear. Um, and so as much as it is good to fix that labrum tear, you also need to, there's something mechanical there too with your bones, pinching on those important parts of your body. So I need to strengthen, I need to protect that part of my body. And so, yeah, when I got back out on the road, all those tendons and muscles around the hip joint were all inflamed and all messed up. And I just think there's some tendonitis in there, just some things that were still aggravated. And so, even though it would feel good from time to time, I think that would just be because of rest. I just had to rest. So, a lot of that first part of the season, I wasn't able to play full practice rounds. I wasn't able to get out and do field work. I wasn't able to get out and do even like 25 minutes of putting. Like, it was just the pushing off of that left side of the body was just brutal. Um, and so, yeah, there'd be tournaments where I'd play with only one practice round and just laying around for the other 3 days going into the event. And it was like that all the way up until um, Europe, and we were kind of questioning whether I was going to go to Europe or not. And then I made the decision to go, and thankfully my mom was like, "Hey, I'll come with you. I'll help you. Let's figure this out." And so uh, we ended up going to Europe, and I had been limping through most of my tournaments. I mean, it was just like I'd start the round and I'd feel pretty good, doing whatever my stretches, my foam rolling, like my rest, like everything I needed to do to feel as good as possible. But when you have instability in a joint, especially as crucial as a hip, those muscles and tendons get aggravated so easily. A lot of muscles, especially the psoas muscle and just like everything in there is just it's so important to keep those things healthy. And so when they're not, they get annoying quick, and that messes up your timing, that messes up your plant, that messes up um, just like so many important things that involve accuracy, especially in a backhand and a forehand. Like I couldn't throw forehands at all because I'd just be leaning on my right side
Mm.
and not able to plant in my left side. So it was just brutal. So I got to Europe. My mom came to Europe with me, and she said, "Look, we gotta change your diet." And I've always felt like I've done pretty good with my diet. Like I buy pretty much organic stuff at the store. Like I'm going fruits, vegetables, meats, like proteins. Like I cook most of my meals. I like almost all of my meals. I try to cook. You know, if I eat out, it's usually like weekends or, maybe Chipotle here and there, right? But I'm trying to eat as clean as I can. And we get to Europe, and my mom's like, "All right, hear me out. We're gonna try something different. We're gonna go anti-inflammatory diet." I was like, "Oh boy, I don't know if I can handle that." An anti-inflammatory diet is like no dairy, no sugar, no grain, um, know a lot of these things. So it's like fruits, vegetables, and meat. Like that's all I was doing. And so like, that's hard for me because I love butter. I don't know about you guys, but butter is good on a lot of things. So, I was trading that out for ghee. I was like, I
Yeah.
couldn't do like spicy foods either. I couldn't drink coffee. I'm a big coffee guy. I love coffee. Um, and so just totally flipped my diet around. And being in Europe, it was actually pretty easy to do. They got a lot of good produce out there, so I just ate like every snack. It was just like another fruit. It was just another vegetable, and it was so frustrating because all I wanted was a bag of popcorn so bad. But it was all about limiting that inflammation. So we get through PCS, and the pain is like mid, and then we get to Crocal, and I almost drop out after that first round. Like the pain is so bad at Crocal, um, and so it's just rough. I don't really know what's going on. It's just a lot of prayer as well. I'm just like what is going on? I don't really understand what's happening with my body. I feel like I'm doing everything I possibly can to be successful, and it's just continuing to be painful. And I end up pushing through Crocal at missing cash at PCS and Crocal, like not even close. Just in so much pain, just trying to get through the tournaments. And then we pull up to European Disc Golf Festival. We pull up to Estonia, and this is when we're now a week into the anti-inflammatory diet, and I'm starting to feel a little bit better. And so I'm starting to practice a little bit more that week, and I actually end up feeling pretty good through the diet. I feel pretty good, doing well, um, and I end up taking 15th as my best finish at a major ever.
Yeah.
I take 15th, and I think that was a testament to honestly how short that course was. I feel like I was able to find some stuff in my timing and accuracy, and I didn't have to throw very hard power shots. So that was really helpful. I noticed a lot of courses where I didn't have to throw distance drivers, I was actually able to be successful on. So then that brought us into Worlds. And Worlds, I was like, okay, these are huge courses. We got the Monster and we got Nokia, whatever. And I just had a good week. I was feeling good after that. And being on this new diet, it was not fun, but my mom was there helping me out. It was good. So we kept going on that diet, and I had a pretty solid Worlds as well. I think it was like top 20 or around 20th or something like that. So again, not too bad at Worlds. Then we fly all the way home when we get to Ledgestone, and I'm preparing all week. I have an off week before Ledgestone. I am pumped. I'm actually feeling really good. Like this new diet has really been helping, like everything. And I train for like a whole week. I'm doing field work every day. I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm feeling so good. All of a sudden, I get to the tournament, and like I go to warm up for my round, and I take this one step, and my left hip flexor just lights on fire, and I don't know what's going on. I'm like, what is this? I just had a whole week of practice. I just played all these practice rounds, and we're one day before the event. It's been 9 days straight of just feeling like gold, going to the gym and just like all this. And I get to hole one, and I'm like limping to the tee pad. I'm trying to stretch it out and release whatever is going on. I can't figure this out. Paul Ulibarri is just, we tee off, and he's like, "Hey man, how's your hip doing?" And like I didn't even get a word in, and he's like, "Oh dude, you're limping." Like, what? And I said, "Yeah, we'll see how long I last today." Um, and so we're getting up hole one's fairway, and he's like, "Dude, give me your bag." I'm like, "No, no, you're not carrying my bag. Like, you got a caddy." And he's like, "Dude, this is killing Brad. Like, Brad really wants to carry your bag, but he can't. A caddy can only carry one player's bag." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're not carrying my bag. You're a player. Like, dude, I'll carry my bag." So we're walking down arguing about whether he's going to carry my bag or not, walking down hole one's fairway. He said, dude, give me that thing. He took the bag right off my shoulders, and just started walking up hole one's fairway with it. And I was just limping. I was just limping up that fairway. I limped that entire round, round one at Ledgestone. And we got through 12 holes, and I was just not playing well. I was probably around even. I might even been under par. Like I was grinding. I was just trying to get birdies. And I called my mom on hole 12 and I was just crying. I was at rock bottom. Like that was just, I could not believe what had been going on. I've been feeling good and feeling bad and feeling good and feeling bad. And I'd stuck to the diet too. Like I got home, I was like, all right, I'm locking in. My mom's not here anymore, but I know what to do. I just eaten it for like 2 weeks, sticking on anti-inflammatory, trying to make sure there's no inflammation in there. And all of a sudden, though, this is happening. And now I'm thinking about cutting the rest of the season. So I have a call the very next day, get through round one at Ledgestone. I was just like, whatever, I'll just get through it. So I got through it, limped all the way through. I shot probably like 4 or 5 under still, or something like that, at Eureka Temp. And I get to a call with my agents and my mom the next morning, and we're talking about cutting it for the rest of the season. And that was a really hard conversation because of how good I had felt, but how bad I had felt, but how good I felt. So I was like, I was so conflicted. I did not know what to decide. I was like, I feel good one day, and then I feel bad the next day, and then like sometimes I feel like I do some trigger point releases and I'm good, and then I could not understand what was going on in my body, in that hip joint. And so we made the decision, like, yeah, I think the biggest thing is just let's get home and let's solve this problem for good and let's just finish it off. And I told him, I said, well, I think I want to try to cash one more time at Idlewild before I go home because I I frankly it's just not doing that well, So like I want to maybe cash one more time, get through it. It's a shorter course. I won't have to throw a bunch of big shots, and I can probably try to get through Ledgestone, just ice it a bunch. And I got back to my RV for before that round two at Ledgestone. I just iced it a bunch. I did some red light therapy as well, foam rolling, and just continued to try to do therapies on it. I showed up for round two at Ledgestone and played almost a pain-free round of disc golf on that second round. So I couldn't walk round one. Second round, come back, play completely pain free, finish the tournament, and end up making the cut and cashing, and it was all good. Um, so then we get back to Idlewild, and I'm on a call with Scott, Bob Julio at Discraft, and Scott Kesey at DGA, and my agent, and we're all talking. We're all talking. We're like, what are we gonna do? I just got through Ledgestone, and I'm like, hey, I got a clinic I got to do this week in Idlewild. I want to play one more tournament before I go home. I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna finish this once and for all. Like I'm done managing this pain. I don't know, still don't know what's going on. I know you guys want to know what's going on as much as I want to know what's going on. Like not like we really just need to figure this out. And I feel like I've gotten so many diagnoses from so many different people, so many professional opinions. So like trust me, like I've gone to so many professionals and gotten it checked out by like 4 different doctors, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And they're like, dude, we think you should just come home. Like just come home, and like it's not worth that one more tournament, if you could injure it even more. And I told them, like, to be honest, I don't think I'm gonna injure it either even further. I mean, I've been playing on a bum hip all year and it's been so up and down all year. Like I think I should be okay. So I'm like, you know what? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I switched to a power grip. I said, you know what? First step, a lot of my distance drivers were slipping out at Ledgestone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch up my grip a little bit so I get a little more contact on some of these distance drivers and just fairway drivers. So I made that decision at Idlewild that week to slow down the body and change the grip to a power grip and allow a little bit more snap at the end of my release. So what I did was I played one practice round, and I did like an hour of field work each day before the tournament, just trying to lock in this new grip. And I went power grip for all my distance drivers, fairway drivers, and mids. I stuck with fan grip for putters, but went power grip for all of those. Go out there in the first round, shoot a 10 under, um, and just smoothing my way through the course. I'm like trying to slow down the body so much, just keep as much pressure off that hip as much as possible. Again, sticking to my diet, doing everything I can, icing, whatever. um, and so it feels really good. All of a sudden, shoot, 2 rounds later, shoot some really good rounds, take third place all of a sudden, like behind Macbeth and Gannon, separate myself a good bit and almost push for the win. And so like now we're all just like, what just happened? Like I just played a pain-free tournament, switching up my power grip, slowing down my body. This is crazy. So then we're like, well, why are we gonna come home? Like we just booked your flight home.
Mhm.
Like this was your last tournament. You're supposed to fly home. And then my mom's like, okay, hear me out. Drive the RV to Detroit, fly back home, rehab a little bit. There's a week off before deglow, and then there's deglow, and then there's a week off after deglow. So get 3 weeks at home. Like that's almost a full month at home. That's great. So now we're like, okay, well, if we can come home and maybe just, get like some like ultrasound on this thing, like get it checked out a little bit more. Let's see what happens. So I come home, we go visit the doctor, park the RV in at Detroit at Discraft, and I come home and he puts the ultrasound all over it. He's like, dude, I don't see anything wrong in there. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, your hip looks fine. Like, your muscles and tendons, they all look great. Like, the inflammation, I don't see a lot of inflammation in there. And like, I'm just shocked. And honestly, like, by this time too, I've lost like 10, 15 pounds. Like, being on this diet, like, I've cleaned out a lot of stuff as well. And so I'm feeling healthier. I'm feeling lighter on my feet, which is also really important. And so, between like the diet and then going home, the doctor telling me that there wasn't really anything wrong and I had felt good for most of the Idlewild week. I did some acupuncture. I did 4 visits of acupuncture while I was home on that hip flexor muscle. And when the doctor put in one needle, it like released everything. It was insane. Like he put one needle in there and I was like, whoa, like that was really painful. But I felt like sitting there for an hour, like felt really good. So 4 sessions later, I'm feeling good. I played 3 rounds in one day. I hadn't done that in a year and a half. End up playing 3 rounds in one day, locking in with my power grip still, feeling so much better about my game, doing a ton of putting practice, doing a lot of locking in my form practice. And now everybody at home is talking about like, dude, you're throwing so good. Like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, but I love it. Um, so yeah, we're feeling healthy, we're feeling good, and then sure enough, we come back on the road and, trying to be as confident as ever. And I bought a cold plunge while I was home. I bought some compression therapy boots while I was home. Like I was just all in. I was like, dude, whatever it takes to keep this thing healthy, I just know it's going to pay dividends in the end. And so, it just feels really good to feel like I've done everything that I can to come to this moment full circle through all of the struggles this year, through all of the difficult decisions, through all of some really cool people in my corner that I respect telling me to go home and call it a year, to then going home and just saying that I know I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna finish this year strong. And I was 34th in the tour standings. I was way outside of the tour standings going into Idlewild. Like I didn't even know if I was gonna make the championship. And then Idlewild happened, and I said, well, I got to go back. I got to clutch. I got to clutch for the championship. Like, I just got to try to get in. We'll see what happens. And then all of a sudden, third, first, and now we're 15th in the standings and are looking pretty good for the rest of the year. So, yeah, sorry, long story there, but it's been a full year. It's been a full season, a lot of difficult decisions, a lot of people to consider. And that's just kind of where we're at. And I'm just so grateful. I'm just so thankful. I think it's a really cool story. And I just can't wait to continue to move forward from here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that sounds incredibly challenging. I won't even go into like it's not even a reasonable comparison, but I'm into ultra running and I've had bad hips and all that, and I have probably not taken it as serious as you have because it's not a career of mine. But like it can be disorienting even mentally. To your point, decisions, figuring it out. It's not just body. So yeah. So congrats for working through that, and I mean, you still have a long road ahead. And so yeah, to go third, first when literally a month ago you were limping on a course is pretty insane. So so fast forward, I mean, we already talked about you getting this win, but just a little bit more. You experienced the final round, so you don't need me to narrate it. But you started the round tied, and if you count lead changes, so either you or Gannon take the lead, or if you count like going back to a tie, that happened 11 times in that round. That is like, I don't know the actual stats of how often that actually happens. We have a lot of close tournaments, right? Where somebody's one stroke away and you're battling, but like, no, you literally would tie and then you would take the lead. Then Gannon would take the lead, right? If you look at it, I just want you to react to this, is so it starts tied. You take the lead on first. It's tied on the 5th. Gannon takes the lead on the 6th. It's tied on the 7th. Gannon takes the lead on the 10th. It's tied again on the 11th. Gannon takes the lead on the 12th. It's tied on the 13th. Gannon on the 14th. It's tied on the 16th. And then we know what happened on 17 and 18. Did the final round feel that way to you? I mean, the stats tell us that's what happened, but did it feel like a heavyweight battle? Like you're each throwing punches and reacting?
I mean, what can I say? Like, are you not entertained? Like,
Oh,
that
I
just
was
sounds
entertained.
pretty awesome. Oh
Literally, like,
man,
yeah,
no.
I use that heavyweight metaphor because I was saying earlier, it's like somebody taking a big swing and knocking the person and they're staggering, but then they come back and they knock them and they stagger, and you all did that 11 times back and forth. Pretty epic.
Yeah, I mean, it was I just loved it. I just absolutely loved every second of it. I mean, it was frustrating and it was awesome. It just I loved it. It just I felt like our confidence just got so much. At least I don't know. It just seemed like the confidence became higher throughout the round. Like we knew we were battling. We knew we were getting a stroke on each other on like every other hole. It was like it didn't feel like somebody was unstoppable. We were just it was just yeah throwing punches back and forth. Um, but yeah, I mean, just battling with him in that moment, in that many lead changes, mentally, you're just so exhausted. I mean,
I can't
I got to the
imagine.
13th hole and I was just like, don't give up on me. I was literally yelling at myself. Like I pulled that tee shot and I was like, don't give up on me now. Come on, let's go. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop. You're not tired. No, you're not tired. Like, I'm like audibly telling myself these things, just like lock in, bro. We still got 5 holes left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so then talking about locking in and mental focus and how tired it is. I've seen several debates and heard several debates on some people saying you're crazy on how you approached 18's upshot, which you threw all the way into the island green. You already answered this in the post round interview, but just for those who didn't catch that, like, what was your decision making process on hole 18? Because you're risking throwing out of bounds and then potentially bringing Gannon back into it. But like, I know your perspective, but could you just elaborate?
Yeah, so round one, super rainy round, I was in pretty solid position or actually probably a little more out of position. I laid up and I had that little chip forehand into the green and I boosted it and I hit a branch and I dropped inbounds and it was definitely going OB if it didn't hit that branch and I still missed the par putt. I got a bogey. And so I'd already seen the layup play and I saw how I attacked it that first day. Um, and walking up to 18, I I had my game plan. I knew what I had to do. And you know, like I said, yes, I had 2 strokes. So it's like Gannon only has so much control over one of those, right? Like he's gonna birdie. So yeah, like what am I gonna do with that fourth shot that I get to use? Um, and so for me it was just blast your drive up there, throw a perfect tee shot. Let's see what happens. Just get as far up there as you can. Um, and I honestly, there was no doubt in my mind. Before I even played the 18th hole, I was planning on running the green. The only way I would have laid up is if I was out of position. So for me, it was also I did not want to have to make a 30-footer for the win, or a 25-footer for the win, or a 20-footer for the win. I was ready to drop that thing in the basket.
Yep.
So um, as soon as I let that drive out of my hand off the tee, like I was just like, yep, that's what we did. I walking up to the 18th tee pad, I was like, 2 more shots and this tournament's yours. 2 more shots and this tournament's yours. After that tee shot, all right, 1 more shot, this tournament's yours. 1 more shot. That's all you need is 1 more shot. So I think mentally I was just so locked in on 2 more shots that I was not ready to be like, what if? No, get the what ifs out of here. Are you kidding me? Like you don't know this, like you don't know that situation unless you're in it. Also, I'm going up against Gannon, I'm going up against Ricky. Like these dudes don't mess around. So it's like, if I have the opportunity to shut the door with one throw right there, and I'm confident in my game plan and in the disc in my hand and the line that I need to put it on, I'm gonna throw that shot 100 out of 100. If I can seal the deal right there and I was as confident as I was in that shot, then I was going to make it happen, to be honest. So
Yep.
I didn't want to pitch up and be like, all right, let's throw another touch forehand. The touch forehand is the weakest part of my game. Are you kidding me? Like, I know I'm a saucy touch backhand guy, but do not make me throw that from 120 feet around a tree with a, backstop behind the basket. It's like, I'm not ready to mess up a little touchy shot. And so yeah, I don't know. I was just in perfect position. I was feeling good. I was so locked in on one more, and I really didn't want to have to make a putt for the win. I just wanted to be able to lay that thing under the bucket. So that was the
Well,
thought process.
well, you executed. I was sitting right there in the bleachers along with I don't know how many hundreds, if not thousand or more people kind of jammed in. And yeah, so Maple Hill's known. We already talked about, of course, its fans. We don't have to get into all of that drama. Good drama, just meaning everybody's opinions on what's happening out there. But clearly the fans have lots of energy. Uh, I feel like now I think I'm biased, but this is why I want to ask. And maybe you're biased because you just won. But are there any other finishing holes like hole 18 on the tour, both by way of what you have to execute and then the actual environment in the final round where you are fully encircled with a loud roaring crowd? Like, does that feel unique and did it feel awesome for you?
It felt awesome that I got to lay up and drop it in for the win.
True, true.
That felt a lot better. I mean, you don't really feel that on the fairway as much. You're definitely looking at it up the fairway. You're looking at the,
The
surrounding
bowl
green
of
of
people.
people.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, no, like when you're on that green on hole eight's green and you people are surrounding that green, it's a very intimidating. It's a very intimidating putt. So also being on the fairway, I just think there's a lot less pressure there. You don't feel the eyes honed in on you as much when you're further away. So yeah, I just I don't think there's any other green like that in the game, honestly. There's no other green like that in the game. It's an unbelievable feeling, obviously, to see that many people there around the green at the end of a tournament. I mean, come on, that's so cool. It was
Yep.
so loud. I remember it sounded like Paul Kranz won the tournament at the end of the third round because they were
Right.
so loud once he made the lead card. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think somebody told me like, did you hear Paul Kranz win the tournament earlier? I'm like, what?
Yeah. In round
And I'm
three.
like,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then obviously you releasing the emotion, I could tell it was literally after the disc went in the basket, you were kind of holding it back. And then, within the next 60 seconds or so, you have Steve Dodge yelling your name. You've got the confetti explosions and all of that. And yeah, congrats. It was very clear that it was a big moment for you, which it should be, especially given, as you said, kind of the grind this year. Are you doing anything unique to celebrate the win or just kind of soaking it up?
Dude, I've never been more full on Mexican food last
Okay.
night. Man, oh my
All right.
goodness. Yeah, that was a big meal. I took a bunch of friends out to dinner. That was
Very
just
cool.
just a lovely time. What are the wins if you don't have the people you love most sharing it with? So that's just I don't know, that's just my thing is just I just love the people. I love the people in my life. I love spoiling them. I love just kind of, talking with them about just life and it was just a really cool opportunity for all of us to share that over such a cool moment like the tournament. So honestly going to get food, that was a big one. I hadn't eaten out all week, so
I say, is that anti-inflammatory Mexican, Cole, or what?
no, dude. I mean, I was locked in all week. Like I had my cold plunge. Again,
Uh,
like I brought my cold plunge on the road. Like I
yep.
had my compression boots with me, in the rig. I was doing everything that I could to recover and still feel good. Like I'm feeling good,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I still have to wake up and do my routine and make
Yep.
sure that it will feel good. Because if I don't do that, then it might not. So, yeah, it's still there a little bit, but. Yeah, not too
But
much to
stay on top of
celebrate.
it.
Just yeah, just
Well, soak it
loving it.
in. Yeah, soak it
Exactly.
in. Even if you're not doing something, relish the memory. Now,
100%.
obviously, Matt is not on the show tonight because he's in some other great state in the U.S. doing work. But you mentioned ice bath, and I'm pretty sure like you convinced Matt to dunk himself for an ice bath the first time. So people who listen to the show both love and hate Matt. I think they must all love him because we wouldn't have a show without him. But yeah, just tell him. How did Matt handle the ice bath? Did he take it like a man or what?
Oh man, he did great. Yeah. No,
Okay.
quick shout out to the Graham family. I mean, they're just amazing. They let me stay at their place all week and park the RV, and they're just a beautiful family and just super kind and just always want to serve. So, Matt is the best. Whether you guys like him or not, I mean, just one of the best humans out there. He just supported me a ton that whole week, full of encouragement and everything. And yeah, bold man to jump in the ice bath, 47 degrees. I've been doing 47 degrees for 4 minutes, so definitely not as cold as some people out there, but it's definitely chilly. It takes
I'd say so.
uh, it takes a lot. But yeah, no, he's like, dude, if I take a shower, and come try this, like, can I try it out? I said, oh, absolutely, I will be watching you all the way through it. Um, so yeah, he had his kids out there timing him, but he survived 2 minutes in the ice bath, and as soon as he got in, he was like, no. He's like, no, but he locked in mentally. He locked in, and then we got to the end of the 2 minutes, and I said, all right, you gotta dunk your head before you get out. He's like, what? He didn't know that was a part of the deal. That's what you gotta do when you do an ice bath. You gotta dunk the head before you get out. So he went and dunked the head, got out, and he nailed it. Champion.
Full blown dunk. Yeah, I know I saw you down there as well. I was driving back and forth. Otherwise, I may have asked for a try because I know I told you. But legitimately, I am considering doing some of the same for some of my health benefits and interests, and like I said, into running. So next time I see you, I'll let you know my life update on cold plunges. But I don't know,
Awesome.
Nick, Ben, either of you jumping in an ice bath anytime soon?
I've done them in the past, but no, I'm not jumping in it anytime soon. Unless it's like the perfect situation, which it sounds like this one was, where someone else brings it, it's set up, they tell you what to do. Great. I'd give it a go. I don't know what you could do to convince me to do it every single day. So,
Well, hey, if
yeah.
we could get, I mean, I'm kind of joking because it's obviously this is not the equation, but if you could guarantee a win on the pro tour, would you do it?
If I could guarantee a win on the pro tour,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's
oh
what
yeah,
work. It's what that
yeah, 100%.
I listened to
Yeah,
Cole's story and I figured that's all it come down to was just his
it's just the
ice
ice
bath.
baths.
That's it.
Yep, that's
That's
when
what did
Ricky
it.
started winning.
Yeah. Hey Cole, did you see Ganon Burr's pleasant post of a picture of you?
Man, honestly, I thought it was gonna be worse. So shout out Gannon for picking one of the better ones, probably. No, I thought it was a great photo. I love Gannon so much. Yeah, like he said in his post, like we were kind of the first ones our age that we really met on the road back in 2021 when we both started hitting the road. And so like
Yeah.
we both kind of have our friend groups a little bit, but I feel like I've always just been super close with him. And so yeah, super cool battle, and thankful for the post that he made. And you know, we all have a little crazy hair sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we're about to let you go, but before, like, so Ben was on the card.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say with you. Ben, were you actively like rooting against Cole? Like, did you ever consider sabotaging anything, or was it all
Dude,
good?
Oh no.
Cole has a story. Well, Cole knows the story. Gannon exposed me last night. We played a glow round at Maple last night. Gannon
All right.
exposed me. Gannon goes, I have a confession. Let's just say you have a caddy and your opponent's on 18 and your opponent takes the upshot onto 18th green and you hear your caddy go, 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 go to try and push it out of bounds. So I guess I said that. Cole was dying laughing when he heard that. I guess I said when on that 18 upshot, I verbally was saying, go, go, go.
So you wanted to go long and launch all the way.
Yeah,
in. I see.
absolutely. I wanted Cole to lose, but
Oh
now that
man.
he won, obviously. Hey, I am a big Cole Redalen fan. I'm a Cole Redalen investor. I have your cards. I have like out of 10 gold cards. So now that you've won, it's awesome, and those card values are going up. But yeah, obviously the whole time I'm rooting against Cole and hoping he does not win. But since he won, no hard feelings. But yeah, that was just a funny story that Gannon had. I guess
Okay.
I normally said go go go.
Bro, okay, I thought the go meant he was rooting for me being Gannon's caddy. That's what I thought it was. Where
Oh
he's like,
no,
go, like get on the
no,
green. And I was like,
no,
oh, let's
no.
go. You know, no, oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right,
Oh,
that's
now
fine.
you
Now we
find
got
out he's
beef.
rooting
We got
for
beef
you.
now, Ben. What the heck is
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yesterday you were like, "That's awesome, Ben." I was like, "Oh, thank you,
I know.
thank you, man."
I was like, wow, what a guy. But wow.
No,
Yeah.
I was trying to
Full
get
180 on that.
it to
Yeah.
go OB, but as a caddy, I hope Eliezra. That's what you were hoping for. Eliezra was rooting for you as well. So, and I bet she didn't want Gannon to win at all.
Dude, I didn't even know what she was feeling that round.
That's
She
true.
was like locked in. Like she didn't say
She
a
was
word.
dialed.
She didn't crack a smile. She didn't do nothing. And I was honestly like, all right, that's fine with me.
That's fine. Yeah, just focus. Right. Yeah. Don't
No,
don't
well,
interrupt anything. You were
I
locked
will
in.
say, like, it couldn't have happened to a better person. Like, your story. Obviously, I knew about the story, but your story, just like going through it all, and just like trusting in whatever happens, and I didn't even know about you were gonna go home. I think that's the coolest thing, that you have podiumed the past 3 events, and then even coming back from Smugs, having the chance to win, and then ultimately losing, and then coming back to Maple. I mean, as a fan of disc golf, Gannon's caddy aside, after the tournament, it was just like this is what it's all about. You're living your dream. You're honestly living my dream. That would be my dream, to win at Maple Hill, and you did it, and you are awesome.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Yeah. So Cole, if you got anything else, feel free to weigh in. But again, we thank you for your time, sharing it with all of our listeners. And it was great to see you this weekend. And again, congrats. Anything else from you?
Yeah, totally. No, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for letting me share the story a little bit. I feel like it's hard to know that balance as a player. How much do you share? How much do you not? Where do you start the speculation on what's going on with you? When do you not? And so it feels good to just kind of get on here and talk about it openly a little bit. And I hope it was pretty easy for everybody to understand. But yeah, I mean, there was just a lot of questions associated with it. And so, I hope you guys can kind of just, trust the process that I did go through, and not try not to ask too many questions about what I maybe did or didn't do, just because we're all trying to check all the boxes as best as we can out there on the tour, and stay as healthy as we can. So thank you guys for giving me this platform to open up about it a little bit more. And I just got a huge shout out to just everybody. I mean, all of my fans and people who follow me on any social media platform, like all of the comments, everything of the encouragement through a difficult time, it means more to the player than you know. And sometimes you might think like your comment, like maybe we don't see it, or maybe like we're not paying attention because there's a lot of other people. It's like, I read every single comment on every single post that I post. And so thank you guys so much for all of the encouragement. And obviously Eliezer Mittling, my teammate and Team DGA, for caddying those 4 rounds. She did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much to my parents and family back at home. I absolutely love you guys. They've supported me so much through this whole process. Thank you, DGA, Scott Keithy at DGA. I mean, just having my back like no other. I mean, just the kindest man I've really ever been associated with in the game of disc golf. I mean, he's just a sweetheart. He wants what's best for me more than anything else in the world. So thank you, Scott. And thank you guys for listening to the story. Thank you guys for having me on the pod, and have a great night. Yeah, appreciate
And
it.
by the way, this is a contract year for you, right?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
There you go. If you're listening, Cole's contract year. Let's see what happens.
Yes. Let's see.
Yep, that's it. I was just saying, because you got a 1. Like, what a way to end it.
No, of course.
I'm saying, like,
yeah.
like
So-
now
so
you
why
have
you
more
still-
sway in
yeah.
your contracts. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
You
you're
can
gonna
have
go
more
anywhere.
sway if you're a U.S. champ and a Pro Tour championship.
That's true.
even better.
That's true.
So
Always
bring,
hope so.
bring it home.
But
Cole,
third,
bring it home.
third, first, or whatever. That's
Yes,
incredible.
it is
So awesome.
Great. Well, thank you, Cole.
you.
Again, thank you for joining. Have a great rest of the night, and we'll be watching how you finish the season.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Thank
Peace.
you. Later.
Bye.
All right. So Ben, we found out you're actively rooting against players on the card, but I'm not surprised. That's why.
I mean, yeah, it's like what, like why wouldn't you be if you're the player, 2, but as a caddy, I'm an extension of the player. That's what they say, right? I know my job is like that valuable. I'm not doing much other than like just carrying his bag, but yeah, I want Ganon to win. I work for Ganon. He is my boss. I am gonna root for anyone, even if it's my dad somehow. Yeah, you know, it's like obviously it'd be nice for my dad, but like if Ganon, I'm catting for the guy. There's not gonna be any other reason for me to root for anyone else if he's still in the conversation. Obviously, yeah. If Ganon's down 10 and like Paul Kranz is duking it out, like yeah, I want Paul to win. But if Ganon's in contention, yeah, I want him to win.
It makes sense to me. It's just kind of fun for me to think about, and then have you.
That's so funny. Yesterday,
express that to Cole.
Actively out loud.
Let's go.
You know?
It's so funny that he thought yesterday that I was rooting for him. He was like, dude, that's awesome, man. You're a legend. I thought he was like laughing because he knew I was rooting against him, but that's so funny.
I thought you were rooting for him.
Well, because it did look juiced. The drive at first did look like it was going to be like Corey Ellis, a little long, but then he said that disc is so stable and his nose up, he felt comfortable. But there was a split second there because it hit the back wall where it was like, man, that like it was just was it guttural? It was just a guttural reaction. Like I wasn't thinking about it. It was just my natural raw reaction. I wasn't like trying to like. I said it under my breath. I don't know how Gannon heard me. So
that's funny. Well, again, congrats to Cole. Quite a story. Obviously, he shared a lot of it. So pretty awesome.
Good to hear about it. Yeah.
All right, so we're planning to get Missy on the show. We're waiting to hear. Hopefully she's able to make it to a place. So I still think that's in front of us. But we didn't really recap FPO at length. I'm not going to go into the details. And then I want to talk about PDL, pop, drop, lock from this week. But for FPO, just to make sure we can cover it. Yeah, round one, Silva comes out with a great round. And what's interesting coming into this event, right, is obviously for all the normal reasons you want to win an event, et cetera. But with Kristen no longer finishing the tour this season, is like FPO player of the year is really an interesting kind of discussion, right? Between Silva, Holland, and Missy. So in what do we have on the leaderboard? We have Silva with a great round, 2 ahead of Haley King, who we don't see a lot of on tour right now. And then the other 2 players I mentioned, Silva is 6 strokes ahead of Holland and 11 strokes ahead of Missy Gannon. So you're like, all right, Silva's coming out, right? Scorching. Then in round 2, Holland and Missy return to form. Missy goes 8 down to Silva's even. Holland's tied for first. So like that whole like round 1 just gets like washed out. It's gone. Literally no pun intended, because it was a washed out round 1 with rain. Round 3, Silva goes even again. Holland and Missy stay together. So here we are, similar to what we're seeing in MPO, close at the top. And they head into the, with a 3-stroke separation ahead. And in round 4, I mean, you can talk about what happens on each hole, but on hole 3, there's a 4-stroke swing. A 4-stroke swing. That's pretty big on one hole in, the pro open division. I mean, of course it happens, but if you can go back and see it, it's just unfortunate. Holland with a tough hole, and then, it's always that extra final putt that costs you that extra stroke that's brutal. And so here you are. The whole lead is coughed up. I don't know if that's the great way to explain it, but coughed up on hole 3, and then we are neck and neck. Missy takes the lead on hole 7, and then different than the way MPO went down, but maintained a 1 or 2 stroke lead really kind of from there on out. It was still close, like anything could happen, which is obvious, but on hole 15, she took a 4-stroke lead and pretty much finished it out from there. There were still some decisions to be made, but pretty much kind of had locked it in. So from a tournament standpoint, I mean, Missy made it interesting. I mean, coming out with a terrible first round and then, literally winning by 4 strokes in the end. Congrats to Missy. I think it makes for a pretty dynamic discussion around player of the year. Maybe that's a debate we save for a show next week.
Yeah.
If you have any initial reactions, feel free to add it. But
well, kind of bouncing on to how this tournament went. I mean, we kind of saw, a bit of a choke job at GMC, realistically. Like, that's a harsh way of putting it, don't get me wrong, but she what felt like kind of had MVP in the bag. I mean, not MVP, excuse me, GMC in the bag. And like right off the rip, hole 1, the final round, she was like the only person who threw it in bounds, and it was just kind of like, okay, maybe it's Missy by a million today. and then just let kind of everyone crawl back into it. It happened over at D-Glow this year. So Saarinen almost won, coming from the chase card, shooting an incredible final round. And Missy had shot like even par or something like that. So it was last rounds right now are kind of getting to Missy. I don't know what it is, but
To Missy or Holland?
Missy.
Okay.
Yeah, to Missy. And unfortunately for this one, she was able to hold on to it. Holland did have a bad round, like a bad round, 4 over compared to the 3 down by Missy. Silva, great first round, shot 8 down, and then went even. You know, she shot 8 down the first round and finished 10 down overall. So it was kind of in 54 more holes, she got 2 more under par than compared to the first day in 18 holes, she was 8 under par. So that's kind of something that she knows she can't do. And she stayed at my house this week. So when I was home, like Paul and I would talk about the rounds and everything. And both of them would just give me kind of how they played the tournament today before they both left. Just give me the insight of it. And she was just saying how, you know, on some holes, what the disc day did one, or what the disc did day one, it just didn't do it the rest of the time. She was like, yeah, day one, I threw hole 8 great. And then 2 days in a row after that, or 3 days in a row after that, she's like, I couldn't even make it to the water. And so it's just one of those things where I was like, all right, you know. But a lot of the pros, from what I'm hearing, and this is because, you know, the schedule's tight, everything like that, right? You get back from GMC, you leave Monday morning, you get back into Massachusetts, and you go play. And then Wednesday was a pretty rough weather day. There's a ton of media obligations, right? There's a ton of different things going on. And it's tough when you have back-to-back 4-round tournaments. You don't get a lot of practice time in. So this is kind of like a number of pros who I talked with. You know, everyone's just kind of feeling the burnout, right? They're closing in on the end of the season. And then this one, they didn't really have a lot of great practice, some of them would say. And the course has significantly changed to a decent amount. I mean, there are some holes out there that players really want to get dialed in, because now you're getting towards, you know, the end of the round and you're trying to push for the win. Look at how 17 played out. In years past, if Cole had just birdied 16, he was up by 1, and then went to 17 and 18, it would all come down to 18. But this year it actually started on 17 when it became a clutch shot by Cole to throw it through that gap. So, yeah, it was a pretty wild weekend as a bystander for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, exciting. Just like I said, and also with kind of more on the line. So it'll be interesting for us to kind of debate or have discussion around Player of the Year stuff. So I think we get Missy in probably about 10 minutes, which is awesome. So, Ben, I don't know if we still have you. If not, that's fine. I want to talk about Pop, Drop, Lock.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So presented by Hooligan Disc Golf. They've been great all season to help sponsor, I'm calling this segment, this game. Thanks to Dave Schreck, our developer, who's really helped build this, Matt with the ideas and kind of spearheading this. It's been fun. There's one event left this season, but without further ado, let's talk about what happened at MVP Open. It was fun in our live show in person, not live streamed, but in person. Nick, Ben, myself, and Matt made our picks. We made our picks in front of some of the players who are around, which is fun when you're trying to pick your drop pick on who's going to underperform. And on a set with us was Paul Macbeth, who actually immediately gave live reaction to our picks, which was kind of fun because getting Paul's insight and perspective. And I think he agreed with a lot of our picks and actually disagreed with a few. And so, yeah, let's go through the results. I know we don't have necessarily a segment up to kind of pop up the scores as we go. So let me load them back up really fast. Ben, I assume you took a look in that moment while you had a chance.
Yeah, I saw how I finished.
All right, awesome. Okay, so when I pull up MVP Open. All right, in 4th place out of those on the show, Nick.
Nick,
Yeah.
Couple rough
did you?
picks.
What did he come
Everybody-
in last?
That was a tough. Dude, probably. I almost came in last place throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah,
129 out of 133.
yeah. So that's
So
tough. What's funny is
that
a lot of
was
people
a tough
validated,
one.
including Paul, validated your Raven Newsom pick for good
Yeah.
reason. I mean, his history
Yeah.
here, but it just didn't happen.
We talked
And-
about it well before even, getting to Polar Park Day. We were hanging out and I was like, hey, let's go over my picks. Like, let's make these together. And Raven Newsom was a good pick. I thought that was a solid chance for him to do well at it. He's had some success here at this event, and I feel like he thrives off of this environment here. And the people love him. Then after that, I went with a Ricky drop, just kind of hoping for some points, and that obviously burned me. He played incredibly well. And my pick of Paul McBeth winning back-to-back events was clearly not the right one, as he didn't even finish in the top 10.
We all picked him, so.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so that's my MPO side. And then on my FPO side, Annika Sten is literally the only one who did anything for me this week. Holland Hanley netted me minus 3 points because she still had a good tournament. And Paige Pierce, who I picked to win, same thing, outside the top 10. Funny enough, right afterwards, we got back to my house that night, and I was like, we were talking with Silva, and then what my mom asked, like my mom or dad asked, oh, what rank are you? Because we've had Kristen stay at the house. We've had a bunch of, great pros. And so we always joke around that, like, we try to have the winners stay at this house, right? And Silva's, or Paul said, oh, yeah, she's number 1. And I was like, oh, wait, I guess I didn't realize that. I should have picked Silva to win the event. And at least I would have gotten some points with it. But anyways, yeah, it was just a rough week of picking points. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's you've got one more week to redeem yourself. We're not making picks yet. But Ben, you came in next. Hey, at least you're in the positive. 12 walk.
12, baby. Yeah, that's one of my lower ones of the year.
Yeah. And I mean, just Ben Calloway didn't perform how you expected, and neither did Emily Weatherman. You did pick the winner with Missy.
Missy, let's go.
Hey.
Big money.
Nailed it. Yep. And then we have Matt, who came in with 41 points. He also missed on the Raven Newsom pick. He also picked Missy Gannon to win. So, I mean, not bad there. And then last but not least, and in this case, literally first, myself. I haven't had too many wins this year, so it feels good. With 97 points, which puts me in 7th
That's a good
overall.
week. Yeah.
7th overall. My picks were Paul Crans to pop. Yeah, that was
Great
awesome,
pick.
right?
Very good pick.
And Paul did not initially agree with me, Paul McBeth. I picked Anthony Barella to drop, and he got me 47 points.
Yeah.
What did he finish in? 50,
That was huge.
50-something? 59th, 58th? I don't know. But then I picked Paul to lock, and that last day hurt because he was still up there in the top 10, but fell outside. Picked Anakin to pop, did okay. Rachel Turton to drop, did okay. And Owen Scoggins, who at least earned me 10 points. So good week for me. Remember, everybody, it's been a fun season. Get in there. It's easy. Even with just 1 week left, obviously you can't win the season's award, but you can get in there and play for the particular week. We do work with Hooligan to ship off a nice disc, plus you get some pride. Get your buddies in there. It literally takes you probably 30 seconds to create an account and save some picks. You don't have to do it yet. The last event for us will be USDGC, and it looks like maybe Throw Pink's out there. I don't remember if we were planning to do that, but it's out there, so I guess we are. So we'll have an FPO and an MPO pick as 2 separate events because of the way the PDGA lists them. So we'll talk on the side and make sure that's confirmed, but we won't even need to lock in our picks until next week. These players have about a 9-day stretch, so a little more than a week before that event. So it's been fun this season. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have feedback, let us know. I imagine we'll continue to try to play the game. It's simple, fun way to pick.
Yeah.
And, make Matt feel good about winning, I guess.
He is killing it this year. It is impressive, the streak that he's kind of been on with some incredible picks. Because I know when we kind of started making picks with people, like even before Pop Drop Lock, we would always, try to figure out who's going to win the event, right? And we're usually pretty far off. But Matt this year, with popping, dropping, and locking, has actually been locked in on it. And obviously, second place out of over the course of the year, I think, technically thousands of people I played. I think we kind of, get 100, 200, 300 people playing every single week, depending on the week. But yeah, we've had a lot of people play throughout the year, and yeah, he's done incredible with it.
Yeah, definitely. It's been fun. So anything else stand out? So again, we're planning to get Missy here shortly. Anything else stand out for either you, an MPO or FPO? After the Missy interview, we'll spend a few more minutes talking about the championship qualifications. So we'll get to that. But anything else stand out? There's always so much we can talk about at the Maple Hill course. A and B pin, right? Like, do we like them changing it up as much as they did there this year?
Yeah.
Do you like some of the new hole adjustments? Definitely
Man.
added some challenge, right?
Yeah.
Across the board.
I'll say, Gage Benson, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry, buddy. You know I love you, but I don't know what the pros think, but I did personally. Now this is me personally. Did not like the whole 10 change. I mean, it was way easier. Every pro hit that gap. Did anyone hit those 2 trees?
Top line. I remember watching it.
Okay, there you go. And I don't know.
Smoked
It just got rid of an iconic hole, in my opinion. Like, I know it's still the castle, but now it's just like, a layup. It's easy, pretty easy. Like, if you do a bad shot, you're at least in circle 2. It's pretty hard to, unless you hit the trees. So, yeah.
So not a fan
Is that the
of
only one?
the 10. Do you like the rest of the changes? I don't even remember what they all are. Like,
Okay, I'll go through my spiel.
Okay,
hole
17. Okay,
17.
I'll go through my spiel real quick. 17 gold, great change, I think. We saw it in score separator. I think is a great change to make it harder. They need to clear up some of those dinky trees in the landing zone to make an actual landing zone, because there's not an actual landing zone, it seems like, because there's just trees scattered everywhere. So if they get rid of those smaller trees, I think that was a great change, like a really, really awesome change for the better, because it was a tougher hole, but fair, and really down the stretch challenge people. Hole 9, par 5. This is the only other one. I love Maple Hill. It's my home course, so I'm being nitpicky on saying things, but it's just how it is in life. Like, you love 95% of everything. It's just like the negatives that stand out that you talk about. But I love Maple Hill. Everything about Maple Hill, I absolutely love Maple Hill, so don't get me wrong. But I did not like the whole 9 par 5 specifically. The par 4 is okay, but the par 5, I was on a card and with Cole, Simon, and Ganon, and one other person, and Ganon had to just jump putt to the base. Cole also had to just lay up and putt to the base. So we're seeing these pros throw out 20-foot shots to the base, and they're not even like that. Well, Ganon, I guess, was pinched, but like, if you can't really get down there off of the first drive. So it's like everyone's, and then Simon, we see him go over the top and really have nothing. So I don't know. I just didn't like that. How I get it's a really hard hole, but I think you need to have a hard hole where people aren't just laying up to the base or something like that. Yeah, that's my opinion. Everything else flawless. That's the only 2 holes, 10 and 9.
Yep. Cool. I think Missy joined in, so I'll give my spiel afterwards. I think.
Yes, she is here. My bad. I was too busy talking.
No, you're good. She just joined in, so that's what I was saying. I'll give my.
We'll have
spiel
to ask her
afterwards.
about the new hole 9, what she thought, because that's new for FPO.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Well, Ben,
about it.
go ahead and bring Missy
Yep,
Gannon
just
in
give me
when
a second.
Click the button. 3, 2, 1. No fancy.
Give me a
transition music.
second. Give me a
Yeah, a
second.
little down.
And we're here.
Oh,
Awesome, Missy. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It sounds like today was a fun travel day. Did you finally make it to your destination?
Yes, we made it just about 5 minutes ago. So yeah,
nice.
got set up quick and hopped on here for you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I mean, those of us on the show are thankful, but I know the fans are. There are always so many that want to hear from the winners, and congrats to you winning this event, your 4th Elite Series win of the year. Pretty big accomplishment. Let's just jump in because we're transitioning. I want to come back and ask you some more specific questions. But on Maple Hill this year, there's always some changes. Steve Dodge, Gage Benson, others kind of bouncing it around. And there are a lot more like A and B pin locations. Just from an event standpoint or any particular holes, how does that sit with you? Do you like the adjustments? Does anything stand out? Do you like the A B pin placement changes? Just curious
Yeah,
your
I do.
perspective.
I think they've been keeping that trend for like the Elite Plus events and then the playoff events. I think that being that we're playing the same course 4 rounds in a row, I think that it adds a nice variety, and I think it makes it more interesting and kind of like, it wasn't that many holes, or they were just like, again, a different pin or a longer pin or a shorter pin. And so I think that that just makes it maybe a little bit more exciting over 4 rounds of the same course. So I enjoy it.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let's go through the tournament just a little bit. Round one, weather's brutal. So I think that's obviously a factor, but I'm curious for you to say what your experience was with that. But before you joined, just in our normal show, I kind of narrated a little bit about how FPO went down, which is Silva starts out with a great round, and you're sitting 11 strokes back.
Mhm.
So, I mean, one, maybe just tell us a little bit about that first round, but what I actually would love to hear is how you pivot out of that. Like, what is your mindset after that? Like, do you just say, all right, I'm going to take it one hole at a time for the rest of the tournament, or are you thinking of the big picture? So, yeah, so what happened in round one, and where did you go from there mentally?
Yeah, I don't know I couldn't really pinpoint any specific thing from round one. Again, the conditions were the worst of the weekend. It wasn't that bad, but it was just sort of like a constant little bit of drizzle. Sort of had that really humid air. We could barely see the
All the
pins.
fog, yeah.
Yeah, all the fog. And so for my play specifically, I mean, I don't even remember, but I think that was the round that I started, 3 for 3,
Yes.
maybe.
3 for 3, yeah. So, like, it's looking great.
Yeah, totally. I really don't know what went wrong after that. I think I just sort of underestimated the wind. There was a little bit of wind, and again, with the conditions, I also will say that I did not have a lot of time to prepare. It was such a quick turnaround coming from GMC. We get there on Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
We check in. We're at our campground, and then by the time we're all settled in, it's already like 4 o'clock. And I mean that it leaves plenty of time to go practice. But at that point, I'm like I'm coming off of GMC.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not feeling my best after the end of that tournament. So I kind of really just needed to make sure I rested. And then come Tuesday, I played the Pro-Am event in the morning, which is, I love playing. I love it. I love doing that event. And it's actually pretty productive because I get to play my layout. So, I didn't want to give up that opportunity. It was the first time I, saw some of the holes. So I was kind of just playing to my instincts on those holes, but I'm trying to be fun too. I'm playing with,
Yes.
I played with Paul from East Coast Metal Roofing.
My boss.
So, yeah, we were just having a good time, and I was trying to do good, but also like there was just, you're trying to balance both having a good time and entertaining the fans, and then also, trying to kind of practice, I guess. So, yeah. And then Wednesday I got out there again that morning, but it was bad conditions. It was rain on Wednesday morning as well, which was probably good preparation for the next day, the first day of the tournament. But I don't know. I think I just didn't really have a lot of time to really process the course. And my game has slightly changed. So, I think I was kind of in between discs on some holes. And I think that's where some of my mishaps happened on a few of the holes that got me some big numbers. But anyway, yeah. So long story short, I think I just I didn't feel great about the round, although I was coming into hole 18 at even par, which again doesn't feel great when Silva's shooting, 8 down. But then I just triple bogey hole 18. And so that just left a really sour taste in my mouth. And I just sort of, I went back. I sort of processed it in my way. I let the emotion out. I let whatever I needed to feel. But I don't know, coming back next day, I saw the card that I was playing with won. And I was like, wow, okay, I'm playing with Own, Sophia Donica, and Eliezer middling. And I'm like, that's going to be a great card. And I think I just took that, and I took that positivity, and we all were just having fun. It was a beautiful day. And so the vibes really helped on day 2. And so I really can't say enough about how much of a difference that makes. I mean, we all weren't happy with our first rounds, but we were really vibing all day. Owen was foraging for mushrooms, which made me like start looking for mushrooms. Not that I have any idea what I'm doing. Eliezer is picking up snakes all over the place.
Oh,
And,
man.
Sophia and I, we were in China, for the World Game. So we sort of created this cool little bond from that trip. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of that contributed to just a really, really great second round. And yeah, it's just about like enjoying what you do have for the day, and not trying to stew or push to try to do anything extra, because there were 3 more rounds left, and so much could happen. And I looked at my 3 over on day 1, and I was like, you know what, this could literally happen to anybody, no matter how great you are. That's just what Maple Hill is. You could shoot 8 under, and you could shoot 3 over. So, I just had to keep that in perspective and just try to do the best that I could. And it didn't hurt that I had a fantastic card for round 2, where I, as you guys know, got my first ever tournament ace. So that was really cool.
I was going to say that round, a contrast, round 1 to round 2, everything, weather bad, weather good, and obviously a really awesome dynamic card. Like you said, kind of taking what you have, and then an incredible round across the board, bogey free. So your only bogey free round on the weekend, and an ace.
Yeah.
That ace felt good, obviously.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I didn't really know. We had a cool little crowd following us, because again, it's just, I think they saw Owen
like a
has
good
such a big
card.
following. Yeah, it's a great card. And so we had a nice little crowd following us, and a lot of the people, they were like, maybe half of them were behind the tee pad on hole 7, and the rest were kind of up the road. And so, yeah, after I threw that shot, I was like, okay, it's a little wide. I was kind of pushing the right side trees a little bit, but I peered the gap, which I hit first available day 1. So, and that was actually a hole that I really loved from last year. And I think I scored pretty well on it, like every round last year. And so anyway, I just threw the disc, and I hear them cheering, and I'm like, great, it's parked. And they keep cheering, and it's like getting louder. And this one woman is just like screaming her head off. So I'm like, okay, something happened, and we're like just waving, like, did it go in? Like, what's happening? And we kind of figured it out after a little bit of confusion that it went in. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. So yeah, and then everybody else had to throw their shots, and then Sophia and I jogged up the hole, and I went and retrieved it out. It was really cool, and we were really fortunate to have Quentin from the Disc Golf Pro Tour come out and follow our card, I think from like hole 3. And so like that was just, you don't think about we were 7th card from the top out. And so you're just not expecting a camera to be out there. But I guess, everything aligned, and they had a feeling. Yep.
Well, it was a good card. Obviously, the world champ you, and then both Sophia and Eliezer, like, obviously have been kind of growing in their game. So like that is awesome. Yeah, I don't have much experience with aces. In fact, to be fair, I don't really have one. But anyway, nothing like a blind ace. That's obviously like always kind of like unique, right? Like watching it go in is epic, but maybe being confused and finding out it's in is kind of a whole different experience.
Yeah, it's not one of the holes that you're expecting to ace. It's like it's obviously reachable, but it's like you're thinking like hole 8 is epic, hole 14 is epic. What Cole did on her hole 13 is super epic, and so like those are the holes that you're expecting to ace, but certainly not those little tweener ones.
No, again, well, awesome. So this rolls you into round 3. Obviously, now you're in a more familiar position, which is lead card, kind of having to battle it out. Obviously, there's multiple people who are in the competition, but if we look at the scores, I mean, you and Holland in that round kind of just really hang tight with each other. I think you actually throw the same score on that round, which leads you into the final round. You're 3 strokes back. And it's always like these rounds seem, and we've heard from players, like momentum is a thing. Obviously, we talk about golf is a mental game. So you start the round, anything can happen, and I'm just jumping straight forward to hole 3. So like there's a big swing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's unfortunate for Holland. That's a tough hole, but it's the way it goes. So you feel the moment. You're there. You see what happens.
Hmm.
So when I say momentum's a thing, do you feel momentum? Like, are you like, okay, you're not rooting against anybody, but when that happens, here we go. Like, there's now
Yeah.
motion on the scores. Do you feel that, and do you try to ride that momentum?
Yeah, I think I do. I think maybe it's not as intense for me because I've been in that situation so many times, whether I'm on the, the receiving or end of it or what, like I've been there, and I try not to let it take too much of my energy. Obviously, when I'm lining up that circle's edge putt, and I'm not assuming that Holland's going to miss the comebacker, but I'm like, okay, this, of course it's like, okay, I can get 3 strokes right now, and so yeah, that's I'm trying not to let that put pressure on me to make that putt, but I think I'm just allowing myself to accept that even if it's not 3 strokes, it's likely going to be 2 strokes. So it's still a great, cut into the lead. So especially at that point, I think she had gotten the birdie on hole 2, so I was back 4 at that point. Yeah. So any time you can cut the strokes by any bit is always going to be nice. So I'm trying not to think too much about how many strokes I'm going to get if I make this putt. It's more just like, okay, I'm going to get at least 2, in my head. But really, it's just trying to stay in the moment and just like, again, not thinking too far ahead, and just knowing like, whatever, doesn't matter what's happening around me. This is a birdie putt, and I need to do whatever I can to make this in, no matter what it's for. And so, yeah, it's a tough balance. I think some people can let it overtake them. I definitely have been, I've done that in the past, but I think the fact that I've been in that situation quite a few times, I've sort of been able to figure out how to like let myself not be overcome by all of that pressure. And when after we walked off that hole, my brain kind of like scrambled a little bit. I was like, wait, are we tied now? Like,
Right.
it's
I think everyone was trying to figure out, because that's a pretty big swing on one hole.
Yeah. And so, it kind of took me like, even after hole 4, I think I was like, okay, we're tied now. It was just funny because I feel like I try not to think about the scores too early, but at the same time, that was such a big swing that I needed to kind of like at least get my bearings a little bit. So it's tough. It's tough to stay centered in those moments, but I'm just trying to lean on my experience and hope luckily I was able to cash that putt and make it a ball game. So
yeah, for sure. And like you said, it was interesting because it's so early, which really means like, I know this is true on any hole, even hole 17 or 18, but it's like anything could happen. Like it was so early. And then jump ahead to like hole 6, where you like talk about momentum. That's obviously a totally different vibe. That's not really like any potential like error. Although I'm curious your perspective.
mm-hmm.
You tap in, I'm gonna call it.
Yeah.
You're looking down, I believe, to pick up your mini, and I guess probably out of the corner of your eye, you see the disc hit the ground.
Well, I actually hear a flood of gasps.
Okay, gasps.
From the entire crowd. So I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And I look up and I'm like, I see the disc on the ground.
Why would they gasp at my tap?
Yeah. Right? But then when I see it on the ground, I look around, I look at people in the crowd, I'm like, what happened? And even looking back at the tape, it's really hard to tell. Obviously there was a headwind. I didn't think it was strong enough to have any effect on a little tap in like that, but the disc does weird things when it's just there's so many little nuances that you're not thinking about, and you can't really blame anything on those funny circumstances, but I was just, I guess in hindsight, I was lucky-ish that the person I was now tied with was also taking a bogey. So at the same time, I kind of was able to laugh it off because I was like, yes, I could have gotten a stroke there, but also like I did everything I needed to do. It just, whatever, it wasn't in the stars for me on that hole to get another stroke. So Yeah, that was just funny. I don't know. You kind of just have to laugh at those moments and move on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's obvious to you or not, and it is probably to our listeners, but I'm often asking questions about mindset because I actually think that's the part that can most relate to like even normal players. Obviously, not the same intensity, but like we deal with those too. And I think like you're saying, like you almost have to laugh it off because it's like, well, what are you going to do? In theory, maybe there's something you could do different, but 9 times out of 10 or more than that, it's like that goes in.
Right.
And obviously, it's nice that in the end. It was still a very close tournament, but that stroke was not like, it wasn't like one stroke into a playoff or something.
Totally.
Still a really tight round. Obviously heading all the way down. You took the lead on hole 7. You had a 1 or 2 stroke lead, which at Maple Hill is still really close. And then obviously hole 15, you end up with the 4-stroke lead and kind of finished it out from there. So congrats again.
Thank you.
Did anything else stand out about your tournament play at all? If not, I want to actually pivot a little bit to your reflection on the season. But anything else specific to Maple Hill?
I mean,
the play?
nothing really specific to Maple Hill. I think like even talking back up to that spit back on hole 6, it's like if you looked at my putting percentage, even that round, I did not putt well. I probably should have won by like 7 or 8 if I could make a putt. So I mean, obviously I had some good putts, but if you look at my putting percentage, it was quite low, and I could count the 6 or 7 putts that I had that would have gained me more strokes. So really that one wouldn't have been the one that I would have been mad about, but luckily in the end it didn't matter. But yeah, that's really the only thing I could take away from my play in the last round there. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's just an incredible. I'm to have won Maple Hill MVP Open once was enough for me. It's such a historic event. It's the first Disc Golf Pro Tour event that ever existed, and it's such a unique environment and like a tight knit, intimate environment that is just so intense and has such great staff. And Steve obviously does so much to make this event just really fun and exciting for both the players and the spectators. And then the spectators themselves are just so incredible. And so to have won it twice is just, it made me forget about GMC really quickly. So that's nice. That's really all I can say. I'm just very, very, very happy to have taken down MVP twice in my career.
It's like two times in a row. So yes, and really, I know the season's not over, but we have throw pink and then the championship. So in many ways, the big part of the season is over, at least the regular tour. This is maybe a loaded question. It's not intended to be. I actually just want some insight from you. Do you consider this like a successful season from your standpoint?
I would say so. I think especially given the fact that the competitors are getting better and better. There are so many people that are in contention on the FPO side. I think it's becoming more like what we were seeing from the MPO side, where you just couldn't really guess who was going to win. Obviously, Ganon has been playing incredible this year, but even the year before, I feel like there was so much parity in the MPO and maybe not as much in the FPO division. But I think we saw that much more evident this year for the FPO division. And so I think that if you're taking the level of play from all of the other competitors that were getting their feet wet just a couple of years ago, and now they're really hitting their stride and getting comfortable on tour, I think the level of competition has gone way up. And the tour just seems to be feeling longer and longer. Given all of the extra events that are happening, we had the match play happening all year. And so, it's harder to keep your energy up and keep your drive going. But I would absolutely say that. So just as of now, I've had such a great season in my eyes. Whenever you can take down a major, that's a big deal. I think that's a milestone that a lot of the top FPO players are looking for. And now to have a few extra Elite Series also under my belt. I am obviously wanting to win the last two events of the year, but if the season were to end right now, I would be very happy.
Yeah, and I don't know when the cutoff is. It's not necessarily official cutoff, but for Player of the Year for the Pro Tour, you won last year, right? If my recollection is correct. And you probably have a pretty good shot at it this year. I believe it's based on voting, right? I think it's media vote and tour player vote, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yeah, I think there are some other things that they take into consideration, like
Okay.
that are more on the statistics side. But
Maybe
there are
that's how you
definitely
get
those
on.
subjective
Maybe that's how
things,
you get
yeah.
on the ballot. Like it may
Yeah.
be like you've got to earn your way onto the ballot, and then after that. But anyway, regardless, like other players have 4 wins. Silva also has a major. Like you're obviously hoping to win Player of the Year. You think you're the number one candidate. Like this is not actually like an election by any means, but like
Yeah.
you have a case to make. You
I
obviously do.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that I should definitely be considered, and like you said, again, I don't know if these next two events, I'm sure the Pro Tour Championship is part of the equation, but I don't know how much like Throw Pink would be involved. Obviously, on the voting side, it might carry some weight. We talk about recency bias a lot, but well, I think we have to see how the next couple events shake out. But I certainly think, we were just Tom and I were just talking about it. I was one stroke away from going back to back to back over the last 3 events. So, as long as people don't forget that, and know that I'm just sort of feeling like I'm ramping up, and we're at the end here. But I feel like I'm kind of on the upward trajectory. So
Awesome. Well, certainly from my standpoint, I was curious of yours, but I think you've had a very successful season, arguably to our point, Player of the Year. So really, again, congrats. I'm going to ask you one other just small question, but you talked about the season's long, and just I said it at the beginning, but even things like media, I'm not going to actually call them obligations because you don't have to come on shows like this, but you choose to. And I think it's really fun for our sport, and we get to know you better and hear your perspective. So thank you for doing that.
of course.
And so my question is, just because we had a small sidebar conversation yesterday, so like, when do you get to go out and find any metal on the beach? Are you planning to metal detect everybody wants to know if you're going to find anything.
Yeah, so in the off season, I picked up metal detecting. I do live now in a beachy town, so I'm mostly doing like beach metal detecting, but as we were talking the other day, I would love to get up to the Northeast and find some more historical kind of Civil War or anything of those kind of like relics and stuff like that. But right now it's just we're down in Delaware. We're at Bethany Beach, and we're gonna see what they got down here in the
Cool.
on the coast here.
I kind of feel like
I'm an amateur. I have watched some of the pros on YouTube.
Yes.
And so I try to do my best at cleaning up the beach, finding when I do find garbage, when it's I think it might be treasure, but it's garbage. I do try to do my duty of cleaning up the beaches, but there's some good that comes out of it.
I don't know what it would be, and I feel like we can just ask our listeners, but I feel like there's got to be like some, and obviously this may just be a fun little side hobby, but there's got to be something here, right, Missy? Because we have things like, chain seeking devices, which are metal, right? Like say, like you're metal detecting, like Missy metal detector or something. Anyway, maybe that's just kind of riffing. But Ben or Nick, anything else for Missy? Again, we're thankful for her time. Anything else to that you're wanting to know?
No, nothing really in specific. I mean, you kind of covered everything, Josh, and we have Missy on so much that how often do the conversations really vary, right? We get you when you win the events, and no, I think one of the biggest things is kind of looking at the even last 5 or 6 events of the year so far. I mean, the last 4 of them being second, first, and how quickly those all could have been first, or second, one. And it's just little things like that. And I think I guess what is the best tip that you have for amateur up and coming pro when it comes to, heartbreaking loss at GMC going into brand new weekend? How do you get past that?
Yeah, it's tough. I think you got to let yourself feel the feelings, and I certainly did. You'll never see me crying on the course, but I think that yeah, after those kind of losses, it's okay to be upset about it
Shut 'em
and
out.
yeah, feel it, and let yourself feel it, and not try to not try to shove it down because I think that's when you're going to sort of bring it into the next week, and you don't want that. And even just I was talking to somebody who commented on the fact that I was able to bounce back from even just my first round at MVP, and then I was in like 25th
Yeah.
place or something, and to come back up and never give up and really just try to keep doing my best, and it turns out it became a win at the end of the day. And yeah, I think that even just hearing that from somebody saying that I'm such an inspiration just from being able to do that type of bounce back, yeah, it means a lot to me because it does take a lot out of us.
Yeah.
Yes, we're playing disc golf and we're able to make money doing it, and it's really changed a lot of our lives. But we have to live with a lot of people saying not so nice things about
Yeah.
us. So you got to just sort of stay in your lane and remember the people that say those things, the inspirational things, and say the nice things, and try to just focus on those people, and know that that's who you're doing it for. You're not doing it for the keyboard warriors who think they're all macho behind the computer. So yeah.
I feel like that's just getting worse and worse over the last few years. I mean, I think, Brian Earhart even mentioned stuff about Evelina and how she was struggling. We see Kristen Lott, right? Just retires. And then the messages that Evelina and Henna both get, and they've talked about, how much longer do they want to put up with that crap? Because it's just people, being pretty nasty to them every single day. And I think that's, I don't know, it's kind of wild. We're such a small, tight knit group. I mean, so many other athletes in other sports, like you go and try to talk crap to LeBron James on Instagram, right? He might respond to you just to be petty back at you.
Yeah.
But like the likelihood of him ever reading it is so unlikely, right?
Yeah.
But in disc golf, you can the day before the event, you can go to the minor league baseball team in town, the stadium, and like hang out 2 feet away from each other.
Yeah.
And that's just no other sport is like that right now, besides for disc golf, and the kind of accessibility that the fans, the spectators, the media has with the actual professionals of the sport. And I think over the last couple of years, we've seen such a huge spike in disc golf, right? But that's obviously going to bring a lot more potential issues and problems. You can say over the last 5 years, it's become way more of an issue than I feel like it ever was before. But I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
keep doing your thing.
They're always going to be right.
Winning.
Yeah, they're always going to be out there. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the best thing you could do to shut those people up, is to just show them. So
just keep winning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they'll give you crap for missing, a bullseye putt this past weekend, and they won't realize that it's like, oh, if you actually saw what happened. So,
right.
Yeah. Anyways, I think you guys were playing, and Paul had just come downstairs at the house with Pablo, his son, and I was like, oh, Missy missed the bullseye putt. He goes, no, get out of here. What do you mean? And then I showed him. He's like, oh, okay, that makes me feel better about it. So we had a good laugh about it. Felt bad, obviously, you missed it, but
sure.
I don't know, just one of those things. So
yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, it was just one of those things. You just got to laugh it off.
Freaking elevated baskets, get them out of the sport. So, anyways, but no, that's all I got on my side of things, Josh.
Well, I know a lot of people are rooting for you out there. So Ben, unless you've got anything to add, we'll let Missy have the rest.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
No problem. Oh, actually, one more thing. You got arguably one of the greatest of all time people throwing your signature disc. Paul Macbeth is obsessed with the Captain's Thrasher.
Yes.
I saw one of his travel bags, and it was just a stack of Captain's Thrashers. And I was like, no, let me get 1 or 2 of these. And he had them in different plastics and everything. And I was like, dang, okay, sweet. Yeah. So he's looking. So kudos to you and congrats on that one. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, no, like I've told him before, he of all people, he knows what it feels like to have people people on his team that are high level athletes that are throwing his molds. And so, I'm obviously stoked that he is has picked one up, and now it's become one of his go-to drivers. So
Yeah.
yeah, it feels great. It feels incredible.
Very cool.
Yep.
All righty, Missy, you have a
Yeah, thank you,
wonderful
Missy.
night. Congratulations once again, and safe
Thank you.
travels and
Enjoy the
happy
week.
hunting on the beach.
Yeah, thank you.
Take it
Yeah,
easy.
absolutely. Have a
Bye.
good night. Thank you,
Bye.
Missy. Thank you. All right. Well, great. I mean, Missy, like, yeah, awesome player. I mentioned it, but imagine, like, you know, long, she talks about the grind. If running the end of the season is still willing to even join us, literally after probably being stuck in traffic, getting down where she's going, and hops on here, which is awesome. So
I
show
got
her
a
your
question.
love.
And I was just thinking about this, and this is actually funny enough when Ben was talking about, you know, low-key rooting for Cole to, you know, go long, right? And
Yeah.
he said it out loud, right? Like, thank God we're playing the sport of disc golf, because if you watch the Ryder Cup, you got caddies and players going at each other. And Ben, imagine if, like, you were like, oh, go, and like all of a sudden Cole turns around and is like, dude, you got a freaking issue or something. Like, imagine if the sport was like that, right? Like, we just had Missy on for the interview, and she is just smiles and laughter the whole time. She's just living life, having fun, and knows how to kind of like get out of the mood of, I just lost last weekend, let me come into this weekend with a whole new mentality, right? So that's a really cool thing about disc golf. But if you kind of look back where our show career has been when we were with the Foundation channel, and we did the interview with Paul Macbeth right after 2021 Worlds, it was interviewing the loser, right? Like we've always been pretty heavy on trying to interview winners. And I don't know, disc golf people are sometimes so nice that even when you interview the loser, they're like, oh, yep, just wasn't my weekend. And, you know, whatever, on to the next one. But I do vividly remember that weekend, you know, that video that we did with him was such a great interview. It got a ton of views on it. It was awesome. But I think that's also something that our sport is so different about. And we were actually talking, Paul, Hannah, and I, this past weekend, just about all interviews in disc golf, whether it's Disc Golf Network's Media Day, press conference, stuff like that. How to be better with our questions, right? And that's also very dependent on the person that we're interviewing. You know, whether it's a guy or girl, whatever. Them having good answers also helps us have better questions. But sometimes we interview people, and like Missy's great. She's one of my most fun people to interview because she literally is just in a good mood the whole time. But every so often, you know, I want to get someone to where it's like, really tell me how, like, I want to get the loser, you know, like what is Ganon Burr thinking right now besides for
Fortnite.
you know, yeah. So there we go.
Fortnite
Exactly. He's still such a
and-
young kid.
and winning USDGC, right? That's
Exactly.
the next
You know, when we asked him how many events are you going to win out of the last 4, you know, what did he say? About 2 for 4 is what he wanted. So he's 0 for 2. He's got to go back to back with these
You could
ones,
do it.
right?
You could do it. It's really, really close. We're almost at 2 hours. I want to briefly touch on the other storyline from this event, and then we'll probably wrap. So, because it was the final playoff event of the season, which we've always kind of like wondered what playoff means. I still think maybe it's not the right word, but they have slightly shifted the event, which added some aspects that felt a little bit more like playoffs, which was really a last chance qualifier for some players to make it into the championship, which is a pretty big deal. That, you know, the top players just expect to make it, and they will. So it's like, what does it mean for them? But down the leaderboard, and basically in FPO, 2 players who sat outside of the points standings have a chance to qualify by beating enough players and performing well enough at this event itself. And at this particular event, we had Haley King, who was not qualified for the championship previously because she hasn't been playing enough, plays well enough here and makes it into the championship. And then Sophia Donake, who we've interviewed here before, who had a really great final round at MVP, boosting her up to a 7th place finish and qualifies for the championship. Obviously, there are a couple other players right on the cusp, like Rachel Turton, if she had performed better, could have made it, and several other players down the leaderboard. But then you have players like Ella Hansen, who performed really poorly this weekend at this event, but is in because her points qualify her. So just thought it'd be interesting. So congrats to Haley and Sophia. And then in MPO, same thing, but a few more positions up for grab, 4 positions. And it's really cool, I think, because you have like Nestori Tukinen and Lori Lettinen, both European players who really didn't earn enough points, right, on the season. but come here and show that their talent is at that level. In other words, maybe if they had toured enough, right, they would be there. They show up to this event, which they still had to qualify to get in, by the way, right? Like not anybody gets into this event, but they get in and they play well, and they both own a spot in the championship. So congrats to them. Chris Clemens, who again is actually 56th in tour points, but plays well enough to get in, finishes 11th here, so he's in the championship. And then we mentioned a little bit earlier, you have Rasmus Sakoripi and Harry Chase actually tied for 20th place at this event. And they had a short playoff with, I think, a little bit of a drama, even figuring out how to like execute it. But
Yeah.
it happened. It happened. And Harry misses out, I think, on a one-hole playoff. So Rasmus is in. And so we could talk about all that at length. Again, down the leaderboard, we had some players who qualified who played poorly. We already mentioned Simon Lizotte, for example, Anthony Brella, Ezra Aderholt. So a lot of those players, but for those few who popped off, using our term, congrats to them. And I think it's a cool dynamic to kind of watch. Kudos to Statmando for creating a live leaderboard that refreshed in real time during the event so players could actually see where they were, both from points, because you could earn enough points to get in, or just qualify by performing high enough. So just thought it was a cool side story. We've talked about it before. Just wanted to kind of really draw that out because I think if we come around next year, presuming they don't change that substantially, that's a very interesting kind of fun storyline to watch. So congrats to those players.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll preview the championship and all that coming up. We've got a short break. I think we've got at least 9 days before the next event. Ben, you're probably exhausted from the weekend. Why don't we wrap up with you telling us how tired you are? Did you get any sleep for the last 4 or 5 days?
I'm exhausted from the season. It's been a grind. This is the end of a 2-month bender, so to speak, of touring. Obviously, I'm home now, so it's much nicer. But yeah, still a lot of stuff, making videos for Ganon and stuff like that. So I am definitely very tired, and I'm looking forward to finally being able to just chill.
Rest.
Except I can't because I got to work on the expo and announce it and stuff like that.
Hopefully you find a little bit of rest. Some rest is important, and I don't mean sleep. I just mean like.
No, yeah, tomorrow I'm just gonna rest.
Yeah.
Some rest. I'll take a few days, and then we'll go back on it.
You'll grind it out for the expo, which is obviously an awesome off-season thing. So,
Yes.
next week we can talk more about Throw Pink, USDGC, and all that. So I don't think we need to tee anything up. But
Yeah.
anything else, Nick? Ben's clearly ready for us to be done. And we did have a full long show. So
No, on my side, I thought Maple looked awesome. Next week, I'll talk a little bit more what I thought about the course in and of itself. But for the most part, pretty awesome, successful event.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the best ones. If you have a chance to go in person to it, it's definitely one of the best events. There's nothing better than hearing the To the Pond and getting to watch two of your hopefully favorite players win the event and getting to jump in the iconic pond on one. It's
and a random kid jumping into watching a random
kid jump in.
Yes.
Yeah, we can talk about that too. What?
Anyway.
Anyway,
All right.
a lot of fun and craziness. Yeah, great show. Wrap us up, Nick.
Let us know how you liked the Live at Polar Park show, too. I thought that was a really, really cool event for disc golf in and of itself. I wish the weather participated a little bit better, but there was a ton of people that showed up. Thanks for sticking around for the podcast. And everybody, thank you for watching this week. Don't forget to check out TitanDiscGolf.com and Hooligan Discs. Pop, Drop, Lock. We got 2 events left in the season, but I think technically 1 Pop, Drop, Lock. I think we're on the final one for United States Disc Golf Championships and Throw Pink. So coincided them.
Yes.
Anyways, check us out on your favorite podcast platforms. Tell someone you love them this week, and we will catch you all in the next one. Next Monday.
Peace out. Thank you,
Peace
everybody.
out, everybody.
See ya. Thanks.